Hi there. In this video, we break down the major 2026 VAT changes impacting UK freelancers who sell digital services overseas. Stay with us to protect your earnings and avoid serious HMRC risks.
Let's start with a number, £20,000. Okay, imagine this. You're a freelancer in the UK, maybe a graphic designer up in Manchester. You're earning £20,000 over your personal tax-free allowance. You're doing all right, building your business. But what if, practically overnight, the UK tax rules change to match the European average? Suddenly you'd be slapped with a brand new VAT bill taken straight out of your profits. Now, this isn't just some wild idea. It's the way things are heading, and it's exactly why you need to pay close attention.
Now, to help us make sense of all these tricky changes, we're drawing on the expertise of Pro Tax Accountant. They're one of the UK's most trusted accounting firms, and their tax advisors have put together this entire guide. It's all designed to give you clear, accurate, and up-to-date info to help you get ready. So you know you're in very safe hands here.
So what are we talking about today? It's all about VAT on digital services after 2026. And this is specifically for UK freelancers. The course creators, the software developers, the online consultants who sell their products and skills all over the world. The rules are about to shift, big time. And if you've got international customers, this is something you absolutely have to get right. It's not just for big companies anymore. It's a real challenge for the modern sole trader.
Right. First things first. What on earth is a digital service? This is where most people get tripped up. The key test that HMRC uses is all about human intervention. So if your service is automated and delivered online, it's a digital service. Think of a downloadable ebook, a pre-recorded video course, or a software subscription. But if there's a real person heavily involved, like a live one-to-one coaching call on Zoom or an interactive webinar where you're answering questions, then it's not a digital service. Getting this distinction right is the very first piece of the puzzle.
So let me just ask you straight up, are you actually prepared for this shift? Because 2026 isn't just another year on the calendar. It's the year when a whole bunch of major tax changes are all hitting at once, creating what you could honestly call a perfect storm for any freelancer who isn't ready for it.
To help you get ready, here's our plan for today. We'll kick off with a look at this digital tax storm that's brewing for 2026. Then, we'll get into your new obligations right here in the UK. Before we tackle the huge EU reforms known as VIDA, we'll also touch on selling outside of Europe, and then, most importantly, we'll finish with Section 5, your clear, simple, 4-step action plan.
Okay, Section 1, the 2026 digital tax storm. The main thing to get your head around here is that the old, comfortable ways of managing your money and your tax, well, they just aren't going to work from 2026. Let's break down exactly why.
For years, this number, £90,000, has been a kind of safe harbor for thousands and thousands of freelancers and small businesses in the UK. As long as your taxable sales in any rolling 12-month period stayed under this, you didn't have to get tangled up in registering for, charging, or reporting VAT. It kept things nice and simple and let you just get on with your work.
But that safe harbor, it's about to get a whole lot smaller. And this is the bit that catches so many people out. Expert analysis, based on signals from the government, suggests this threshold is going to drop in a big way from April 2026, probably down to somewhere between £60,000 and £70,000. Just think about that. This one change alone is going to pull tens of thousands of freelancers who aren't ready for it into the complicated world of VAT. Suddenly, you're not just a consultant, you're also a tax collector.
And at the very same time, another storm cloud rolls in, making tax digital for income tax. From April 2026, if you're a sole trader in Birmingham earning over £50,000 a year, you'll be legally required to keep all your business records digitally and send quarterly updates to HMRC. This happens whether you're VAT registered or not. So even if that new VAT threshold doesn't quite get you, MTD probably will. It's a massive shift towards real-time tax reporting for everyone.
Right. Let's move on to your new obligations. And the most important thing here is a huge change in how you need to think. For digital services, tax is no longer about where you, the freelancer in London, are sitting. It's all about where your customer is when they click buy. That's the mental shift you absolutely have to make.
Now let's break this down because it really splits your workload in two. If you sell to another business, that's B2B, it's actually pretty simple. The VAT is due where they are and they deal with it themselves using something called a reverse charge. This basically moves the VAT paperwork from you to them. But if you sell directly to an individual consumer, that's B2C, the responsibility flips completely onto your shoulders. You have to charge them the right VAT rate for their country, you have to collect that money, and then you have to pay it to their country's tax office. It's a huge administrative job. And here's the kicker. You can't just take your customer's word for where they are.
Tax authorities like HMRC demand that you collect and store actual proof. You need at least 2 separate, non-conflicting pieces of evidence, like their billing address combined with the IP address of the device they used, and you have to keep these records for at least 6 years. This is your only defense if the taxman ever comes knocking and asks if you've charged the right tax in the right country.
So let's see how this all builds up, especially when we look at our biggest overseas market, the EU. Europe is in the middle of rolling out a massive VAT reform called VAT in the Digital Age, or VIDA for short. The easiest way to think of it is as Europe's brand new digital rulebook. It's designed to bring the tax system built for a physical world into the internet age, and it's going to completely change how UK freelancers trade with EU customers.
Now, VIDA isn't all happening at once. It's being rolled out in phases, but you'll want to hear this part. There are 2 key dates that are coming up fast. By July 2028, the system for reporting VAT is expanding, which should make things a bit simpler. But the really big one is July 2030. From that day on, mandatory electronic invoicing will be required for all cross-border business-to-business sales. This means that simple PDF invoice you've been sending, it's not going to be compliant anymore. You'll need a system that can create proper structured data invoices. To handle all this EU VAT, UK freelancers now use a system called the One-Stop Shop, or OSS. It replaced the old MOS system we used before Brexit, and this slide shows the single biggest change. Under the old rules, you had a €10,000 sales threshold before you even had to think about it. Under the new OSS system, there is no threshold for digital services, 0. From your very first €1 sale to a consumer in the EU, you have a VAT obligation. That is a massive game changer.
Now, this isn't just a UK or an EU thing. It's so important to understand that tax authorities all over the world are bringing in similar rules. This has become a truly global problem for any freelancer who has an international audience. It's basically the new cost of doing business online.
Let's just take Australia as a quick example. If you sell your digital services to customers in Australia, you need to be tracking your sales against their Goods and Services Tax, or GST. The rate is 10%, and their registration threshold is 75,000 Australian dollars, which is roughly 40,000 pounds. It just goes to show, you need a system that can track your sales country by country, because every single one can have its own different set of rules.
Okay, we've gone through all the problems and the new rules, and I know it can feel like a lot. But now we're at the most important part, what you actually need to do about it. This is our final section, your Freelancer Action Plan. We've broken it down into a really simple 4-step approach to get your business set for 2026 and beyond.
Step 1 is to audit your business. Get crystal clear on where you stand. Go through every service you offer and decide, is it digital or not, using that human intervention test. Work out where your customers are actually located and calculate your rolling 12-month turnover. Step 2 is to monitor your thresholds. Set up a simple spreadsheet, or even better, use accounting software to keep a close eye on your UK turnover against that likely new £60,000 to £70,000 limit, and track your sales for each country you sell to.
Step 3 is to upgrade your tech. And stay with me, this next point affects nearly every small business. The days of doing your books manually are gone. You need MTD-compliant software, and you need to get it sorted now. Your online checkout also has to be smart enough to automatically grab that location evidence and apply the right VAT rates at the point of sale. And finally, Step 4, choose your EU path. For your sales to consumers in the EU, you need a plan. For most people, the simplest option is to register for the non-union OSS scheme in one EU country, which lets you file a single return for all your EU sales.
And here's a pro tip that really just sums it all up. Automate. Getting the right software sorted now isn't a luxury. It's a vital investment. Trying to do all of this manually, tracking sales, collecting evidence, calculating dozens of different VAT rates, it's just not going to be possible anymore. Automation will save you hundreds of hours and stop you from making really expensive mistakes. It's the difference between growing your business and being completely buried by admin.
So here's the bottom line. In this new digital era, getting your tax sorted isn't just a boring chore to avoid fines. It's actually a proactive, strategic move to build a modern, strong, and future-proof business that can sell anywhere in the world. The freelancers who get this right will have a huge advantage. So the only real question is your business ready for that future?
Okay, before we finish, a quick and very important disclaimer. The information we've gone through today is for general guidance. Tax is complicated and it's very specific to your own business and personal situation, so you shouldn't use this as the only thing you base your financial decisions on.
For professional advice that's tailored specifically to your freelance business, we really recommend you get in touch with the experts at Pro Tax Accountant. Their contact details are on the screen for you now. They can help you build a specific plan for your circumstances. And if you found this guidance useful, please do subscribe for more essential updates.